You are watching the Saturday Debrief, brought to you by the Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. Oh, what a feeling. David King, Jack Rewalt, Jay Clark. What a professional performance from such a professional club. 8 goals to 1 in the final term to pump North Melbourne by 45 points. No Darcy Moore, no Steele Sidebottom, Scott Pendlebury, Jordan De Goey, Bobby Hill, Dan McStay, or Lockie Schultz, plus lose Braden Maynard in the first quarter. That is some sort of performance.
Yeah, well, I was worried at half-time because David King was reminding me that I said that Collingwood should win and win easily. And at three-quarter time, still Kingy, it was looking a little bit dubious, but just an outfit that has pure belief. I think you can sum it up in the word belief. And players come in, we spoke to Oleg Markov there, obviously, with Cam Mooney's. They come in and they believe they belong in the side, whether it be their first game or 200th game, and they just perform. They fill a role. Craig McRae has a fantastic system down there at Collingwood, and whoever it is does the job.
That's it,
next soldier up.
Yep.
Next soldier up. And it was a great performance.
Now, I think the best sides have burst scoring power. And we've talked about this a couple of times already this season. To get 8 goals on the board in a 30-minute window is powerful, but they got about 6 in a hurry. And I want to talk about the flip side of the coin. The Kangaroos brand in the first half, did it keep them in the game? Absolutely it did. But where does it take you? 71 marks and a half of football. It's to me a bit of a meaningless performance because you don't get the development minutes into these young players that they desperately need. They need to learn how to play the game of AFL footy.
You reckon they're playing the wrong brand?
Well, kick and catch for 60 minutes, I don't know if it helps you.
The uncontested.
It's a bit of a trend, I reckon, throughout the AFL is that sides don't want to, like that. They don't want to win, they just don't want to lose. And I believe, King, is on the back of what you're saying as well. I reckon there's a few sides out there that just need to run the gauntlet. Teach your kids to play offence.
Not many
Teach
are
them to be
taking
brave.
70 marks and a half. That's an outlier, that, tonight. 70 and a half. That's
it's an interesting way to play, just the chip around, sort of keep it off. I obviously believe that's what worked for them last year when they went well against Collingwood, but you're not going to go forward playing that brand of footy.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
It's not going to win you.
You're losing development hours. You're losing 2 hours. You get 22 opportunities or 23 opportunities in 2-hour windows to develop your squad into the way you want to play and develop these young kids into hardened 60-game, 80-game AFL-ready performers. And I don't know. They're in the game, and it's hard to be critical of them because it's a three-quarter time that they're in the performance. But the method, to me, is so important, so critical to the development.
If they're trusting the contest more and playing more of a contested game, does it expose them more against the best sides? Maybe that's the concern for Alistair Clarkson. And Brad Scott's doing a bit of this. We've mentioned about Essendon as well. Yeah,
and we've been critical of that.
Yep.
So it's hard to just accept this one and be different towards other teams. But yeah, Clarko will have his answers for that. And it's hard to be super critical because they were in the game. But it's a bit of a false mechanism. It's a bit of a false economy. Yeah.
The worry for Collingwood, sorry, Kath, you mentioned the injuries before. Braden Maynard with that foot. He was troubled by a plantar fascia issue for the bulk of last season and again over pre-season. He had a really limited pre-season with a foot issue, so they took him off early. We'll get more detail sort of post-match with Craig McRae. I hope that's not a serious flare-up of the plantar fascia issue because you mentioned they've already got a long injury list and that depth has been tested a little bit for the Pies as we saw tonight. So they'll hope that that's not too bad.
All fair points you're raising, but can we be a little bit more positive?
Yeah, we can.
We always go down the losers or the injuries. Well, can we just celebrate Collingwood for 5 minutes?
Yeah, I think the balance of Collingwood tonight, without if you remove the Dacos boys who've had 38 and 30, it's a relatively balanced list behind them. Like Jeremy Howe hasn't had a great night tonight. He performed well last week. You mentioned Maynard going out. It was guys like, I mean, Isaac Quaynor sort of got back to a little bit of his best, had 10 intercepts behind the ball.
Ned Long was pretty damn
good,
wasn't he?
was
And
one of the
he is
ball
standing by. Thank you. A bit of positivity, finally. He is standing by in the Collingwood change rooms. Ned, congratulations on such a great performance yourself and a great team win. We were just talking about the belief within this Pies group that no matter who you're missing, you're still quite confident of the system stacking up and you getting the win. Is that what you're feeling as a Collingwood player?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we come in every week with belief. We stick to our process during the week, train really strongly with great intensity and come into game day, like you said, with belief and feeling like we can win any game.
Ned, do you think the coach has put more trust in you? Your magnet now, being able to go into the middle, doesn't matter who's next to you. You know, there's obviously a couple rested tonight. You must feel that there's some greater responsibility shown to you right now.
Yeah, I think so, or I hope so at least. No, it feels good. I think we're we've got a really balanced team at the moment. Obviously, we had a couple come out this week, but other boys just stepped up, and whoever goes through there, we feel like we can have a really good performance and, get the win.
Can you take us inside the mind of Craig McRae pre-game? Obviously, Pendlebury the laid out and Bobby Hill as well, still side bottom, one of your great champions, rested during the week. How does he approach it when a lot of those senior players do come out and it gives guys opportunities? Is it a different type of messaging from Craig?
No, it's pretty similar, to be honest. It's the same week to week. Obviously, we needed some other boys to step up this week. We've got, like you said, some amazing leaders who came out this week and some really great experience. So some other boys had to step into their positions and their roles, and I think we did that really well today and had a really balanced performance.
Ned, yours is an incredible story, mate. 29 possessions tonight, cut from Hawthorn a couple of years ago. For all the young people who might have dealt with rejection or might be in a similar situation, how did you forge through? How was the resilience? How did you get back up on your feet, mate, after being cut?
I didn't try and dwell on it for too long. Obviously, it was really disappointing getting delisted by Hawthorn, but just went back to my strengths and was lucky enough to come into the Collingwood VFL program where I had some really great help, great coaches and players, and then was also able to train alongside the AFL. So, I think from a resilience point of view, it was just about working really hard, training really hard, and then finding an environment that's really helped me thrive.
Now, Ned, you're a second football club now, a man who came in very late tonight, Oleg Markov, at his third football club. Now, I have been a teammate of Oleg Markov, so I want you to get a little bit loose here and actually tell people what Leggy is like, because he's a unique individual, isn't he?
It's probably a good way to describe him, unique. No, he brings so much energy for our group. Obviously, you saw the goal celebration tonight. I think it got every single one of us over to him after it happened. So, he brings so much energy, so much electricity. Just a really fun guy who, brings a lot of laughter and joy to the group.
What's Craig focusing in on at the moment? What's the area that he's putting the most time into with you guys? What's just lacking or just not quite there that you're trying to gather through the mid part of the season?
I think we're trying to build week to week. Make sure that we're staying consistent. So obviously we build our game off pressure. That's part of our DNA, and then our system and structure around that allows us to do that. And then when we do that, we play on instinct. And I think we've got a lot of talent spread across the ground, which obviously it's we allow it to flourish.
And a huge talent in Nick Dacos. I mean, how much do you marvel at him, particularly that final quarter? Was it 17 disposals in the final quarter, 38 for the match? There's constant criticism about Nick Dacos and whether he's had a quiet game or a big game, but you must just sit back and enjoy the show sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. He's one of a kind. Best player in the comp. He cops the most attention week in, week out. I can't believe what he has to deal with. And his consistency every week to put up a great performance is second to none. And I think that starts from his preparation and his training, and that is the best in the comp. And I think that's why you see on game day him consistently perform so well.
But, Ned, do you think there should be an inquest into how much these two brothers pass the ball to each other? There is something like it. They wax it, honestly. Are they taking the mickey, mate?
It's funny to watch sometimes, just sitting in the middle and seeing them go back and forth. But they've got such great chemistry, and they're elite ball users and elite kicks and elite decision makers. So we're happy when the ball's in their hands.
Ned, have you ever got a Brownlow vote?
No, I don't.
Okay,
think,
well,
don't
now's your chance. Now's your chance to pitch for three, because we all think that you potentially might take home the three tonight. Yes, Nick Dacos has had 38, 17 in the last. You've had 14 tackles. You've had 15 score involvements. Now's your chance to just plead your case to the umpires. They may be watching Fox Footy in the umpires' rooms. We don't know, but surely the 3 Brownlow votes for you tonight.
Nah, give it to Nick. Deserves it.
Yeah. Oh, come on. No.
That might be important, bro. It's like this, if you keep playing like this, you might be on the table sitting next to him when he wins it.
Hopefully I don't steal any votes. I want him to win it.
Very good.
And keep doing what you're doing because it's working. Congratulations on this win.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Andrew Dillon can have a lot of fun on Brownlow night with that game.
Yes. That's
Feel
a
the
good
suspense.
pickup by you.
Yeah.
And Dacos, I reckon. I love you.
3 votes.
Yeah.
Let's get into our Ashley and Martin turning point, shall we? Who's owning this one tonight?
Well, it was a domination. Collingwood had the chance to do this in the third quarter to blow away North Melbourne, but in the fourth quarter they finally kicked straight, Kingy, and they were able to really kick away, and a margin that was much closer at three-quarter time became pretty quickly early in the fourth quarter, or one that was unassailable for the North Melbourne Football Club. The forwards started to get a lick of the ice cream. Tim Membry kicked 3 goals tonight, and he's starting to find his feet. He's been a great pickup for Collingwood. I think that mid-sized forward working well with Brodie Mychek and obviously Dan McStay out at the moment. And the man who I think is a unique individual knocked one home, Oleg Markov, and Harry Perriman, another pickup, was fantastic tonight as well, in a really well-balanced effort all over the ground from Collingwood.
Oh, this is powerful. And it's... When you're a team like this, it's days tonight they were going through the motions, really. They know they don't necessarily have to be up for this level of competition or this event tonight, but to be able to say, righto, guys, let's go. Nick has 17 in the last quarter. I know there's a bit of waxing there and a couple of double-ups, but it's still his ability to say, hey, let's separate this game. Let's put it to bed. They're an awesome side to watch.
So if you're Brisbane, Gold Coast, Geelong, Western Bulldogs, those other top contenders, what are you sitting back and feeling a little threatened by when you watch Collingwood?
Oh, the injury list, I reckon, probably more than anything else. You look at what they do tonight and you look at how they've been able to manage players, but I think that they're playing potentially a better brand of footy than 2023. And that's really scary, because they were really good there. I reckon this is just system getting better, and once you compound games together and playing the system, they haven't changed too much from obviously when they won the flag in 2023, is that their 2 generals didn't play tonight in Sidebottom and Pendlebury, and I just think that they're getting better and better week in, week out, and their depth is becoming deeper and deeper.
I think they were more fleet of foot in 23, off half-back. That running wave we saw, swinging through the middle, DeGoey in great form, Dacos on the fly. They were a different-looking team. I think they're better defensively this year than what they were in 23. But I think they've got gears still to come with their offence and some players that play significant roles in that, Jay.
And DeGoey's the wild card, isn't he? I mean, he's been really down on his form when he has played. He's got an Achilles issue at the moment, and talking to the Pies today, they're not sure when he's going to come back. It could be 2 weeks, it could be 2 months. It really depends on how it's going to respond. So if they can get him up and in some sort of form and fitness at the back end, even if you're playing him forward, we know you used to talk about scoring in bursts. Well, he can score in bursts. So he's a bit of a wild card for the Pies.
They're the one club, though, Kath, I feel they're on a knife's edge with their list profile, their age, and the like. If they cop a spate of injuries, they're in real trouble quick because of their experience. And I think what's normally a 2-weeker might be a 3-weeker for some players, or 4-weeker. So I think they're managing this perfectly in the mid-stage of the season to get to a bye, to get to a chance to refresh these guys. But they're going to be on a knife's edge right through the whole season.
When do they turn their attention fully to finals? Because they're banking wins now. Like you think probably 14 to 15 wins get you your top 4. Maybe when they hit that number, that's when they go full preservation mode to actually attack September with a full list. They've got to the bye now.
Can that be dangerous though sometimes?
I think
fine balance, isn't it?
With a younger side potentially, but you're resting guys like Sidebottom and Pendlebury, and they don't miss a beat when they miss a week. They come back in and they do their job. And I think that's a luxury that they have banked so many wins early on in the season, especially close ones. The last 2 weeks, I think the Freo game's huge. And tonight, it potentially was a danger game. It looked like a danger game for the first part of the game. They could have lost, but they banked another win with a side that doesn't have 8 of their best players in it.
I think they aren't afraid about the age profile. I think all those guys go again, though, don't they? Next season, aren't they playing well enough to go again? Pendlebury's 20 games off the games record.
Yeah, you fall off the cliff. Some players fall off quickly, and are gone virtually in a pre-season period. They can be finished. So it's a long way to go. They're stacking the wins. They're playing some pretty good footy. They've got assets that some can't really match. I mean, those 2 Dacos magnets. Seriously, you have to think about tagging both of them every week, and then you got to think, can we actually do the job tagging these guys?
They didn't tonight.
No.